What's going on, people? This is Franchise Play, aka Brian Mazik, and the EA Sports UFC patch 1.03 dropped today, and there are 3 new fighters: Stipe Miocic, there's also Matt Brown, and Mike Pyle. It's actually kind of funny in a way that EA Sports UFC, and I know these guys are predetermined who are going to be, who's going to be the guys or the next guys that are rolled out in the free fighter updates. But man, if you look at the guys that are getting rolled out, things are not working out too good for those guys in their recent fights or fights shortly after. Tyron Woodley, even though he just won his last fight knocking out Dong Young Kim, he got destroyed by Rory McDonald around the time he was made available. Now TJ Dillashaw fight's coming up, so that's that. And then Takedown Mizugaki hasn't fought recently, and Stipe Miocic, okay. But I mean, look, Matt Brown lost to Robbie Lawler, and Mike Pyle just Saturday got the fire lit from under him by Jordan Mean. So hey, I don't know, was it like the fighter update curse or something? But there's some funny stuff going on. But you just saw Stipe Miocic. That was him knocking out Mark Hunt. This is a little fight here. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because I want to talk about the update, the stuff that happened that's actually in the update that you can see. The immortal Matt Brown against Mike Pyle. But let's talk about what actually changed in this mode, man. And let me just say this. I have never seen a game ever that I can remember. Now somebody, if I'm wrong, if I'm missing something, then somebody bring it up and let me know what I'm missing. But I'm gonna tell you, I've never seen a game change this much post release that I can think of. I mean, they are clowning with this, and I applaud them, because if other games could step up and make this type of change afterwards, after release, oh my man, really? Look, let's talk about what's been changed. And I'm reading this straight off of Operation Sports because this is where I first saw this. Let's see, it's you got the 3 new fighters. They updated the fighter records, gameplay. They added in a referee TKO stoppage if the dominant fighter throws too many block strikes without the submissive fighter trying to improve his position. So I'm assuming that that's on the ground. It's got to be, is what I would think. It's got to be on the ground. I think I've seen that. It's in the video. In this video you watch right now coming up, it's a Machida versus Kung Lee fight. So watch that. It's right towards the end. I think that's what this was, because Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg say TKO, and I really can't recall whether or not they call fights TKOs before. So also you're going to see a couple other things. You've seen them already with the takedowns, which I think is a huge deal. We'll get to that. So basically we're talking about adding the ability to catch kicks on parries if the attacking fighter has low stamina or high leg damage when throwing a kick. So if the parry button is held, a takedown will be initiated. Man, you don't have any idea how this changes the game. Let me explain to you how this changes the game. Because with EA Sports UFC, one of the biggest complaints was that people kind of like spam a bunch of high leg kicks or a bunch of kind of acrobatic types of kicks that are really kind of unrealistic and you'll never see in MMA, in like high level MMA. And even when they're tired, they're constantly doing this. And there really probably isn't, before now, there wasn't a big enough deterrent from doing that. But by making it where you can catch these kicks and easily turn them into takedowns that actually count for the scoring, man, this really makes you have to be more judicious with your attacks. And that is it's hard to completely put into perspective how big of a deal that is. So you're gonna see some of that in the video. You see that now. So adding new defensive stand-up transitions from full guard, move the sweep to advanced transition. I'm still struggling a little bit with my defending ground transitions. So that's something that I got to really start to, try to get a handle on myself. Added the back mount, escape for submissive fighters, Added a manual taunt. You hit the left or the right directional buttons. Yeah, I guess if it didn't cost anything, I mean, probably take them 20 minutes to put that in. So some people do, some people don't. Successful basic single leg takedowns will now end in half guard. Man, look, let me tell you something. That's how it's supposed to be. And then on top of that, look, it's blowing me. It's really, they're impressing me. I'm telling you, the EA Canada studio is impressing me, because generally, if you're gonna add something like an animation and stuff like that post-release, usually you kind of, it almost looks like a punch in, and it's not smooth. This is, when you see this, it's smooth. The leg takedown, all of it is smooth. Really, really happy with the way that came out. They added coins to the championships, so you can watch partner videos from the home panel and earn coins to trade in for season points. That's cool too. In gameplay, they fixed the issue where the dominant fighter could stall transitions. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I'm struggling with these transitions, so that may not even apply to me yet. Fixed an exploit where fighters could sneak in a free hammer fist during posture up and down animations. I've seen that. I believe I have seen that. They fixed an exploit in side control where users can land a free shot after transitioning to side control. I don't know if I've seen that. Fixed an issue with cage clinch break denial inputs. There's a lot of stuff that was wrong at first with the cage clinching. The first patch fixed some of it. Hopefully this fixes the rest of it. Increase the base punch speed of all weight classes, so just making guys fire quicker. AI tuned to be less aggressive. AI is more aware of stamina and fight pacing. That's for real. I had a fight. Man, it was Wanderlei Silva against Vitor Belfort. And we all know Wanderlei Silva's a maniac, right? He wants to come, he wants to finish you. But obviously he's a human being, so if he's getting hurt, he's gonna know to pull back and stuff like that. Well, before, the computer the AI, CPU is just coming. He's coming. This fight against Silva, Belfort, I mean, especially like once I cut Silva, he started to back up. He started to take his time more. It made it all of this stuff together is really making for a much more realistic fight experience. It really is. This is the fight I was talking about here. Just a much more realistic fight experience. And I mean, who's going to really complain about that? The duration and probability of health events has been tuned. Stamina loss on strikes landed has been adjusted. They tuned, this is a big one, tune the denial windows for various ground transitions, get-ups, and submission attempts. That's important, because what was happening is you're seeing people chaining submissions back to back to back to back, and I think that needed to be made to a point where it has to have some kind of break, because of I still think that the submission system is still a little bit needs some work, but you know, conceptually I think it needs some work. But as it is, I think this does help the system be a little bit more realistic. Animation speeds adjusted for strikes that were being abused online. You always got the cheesers. Added delay on submission attempts after a failed submission. That's more of what I was talking about there. Submissions cannot be attempted when attacker has minimal stamina. That is cool, because that means if you got hurt, you got gassed, and you just going for submissions to try to, you know what I mean, to prolong the fight and trying to using that you're going for a submission to get out of trouble. That ain't realistic, because if you don't have the arm strength to crank down, you're not going to be able to hold a submission on a guy. So that's just what that is. Fighters can change stances while blocking. Let's see, adjusted Antonio Rosario Nogueira and Robbie Lawler's hand power and speed attributes. In the career mode, they fixed the issue where Crucifix was unavailable in career. It will now be available on new career saves after purchasing the transition. Let's see, on online, they allow users to view fighter stats. I didn't understand why that was the case anyway. Why can't we view fighter stats and abilities in online championships to fight during the fighter select screen? All right, they disabled the online pause in all online modes. You can still pause, but while you're doing it, somebody's going to be smacking you in your face. So push pause if you want to. They tuned the white belt promotion and the division belt thresholds, and then some miscellaneous stuff. Fixed an issue with incorrect video for GSP switch kick move. They fixed a crash when adjusting walkout music, and they fixed an issue with mat damage Change Nogueira's stance to southpaw. I never hardly pick him, so I didn't even notice that that was wrong. That was a weird fix there. And various replay fixes were done. So that's that, man. I mean, hey, I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with what we got there. But yeah, I think overall this change has really made the game so much better. Like I said, I've never seen a game change like this post-release. So if you were waiting and you didn't like the feedback and stuff that you were hearing about EA UFC before, you will probably like what you see now. I mean, man, I would tell you, I don't need, as far as a digital download, I'm not sure you could, get your feel with that. You may have to rent this GameFly or something. Take the updates and then see what you think. I think it's, man, if I did a post review on this, I would probably crank the score up about maybe a whole point. I think the change is that significant. So that's that, man. If y'all want to see more EA Sports UFC videos from me, check out these two that's on the bottom. Subscribe, follow, and God bless.